What's up, fam? Welcome back to the Feet King Show. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Feet King. The show is all about who are you, like on a cellular level. Who are you when you're up here versus when you're somewhere around here versus when you're feeling down here? Who are you? What do you do? What's your why? How in the world are you keeping this thing all together? I.e., what is your self care modality? So it goes a little something like this. Who am I? I am a woman. I'm a sister. I'm an auntie. I'm a cousin. I'm a favorite cousin to my cousin Rosetta Bonner. Rest in peace. I am a pet parent. I'm a fiance. What do I do? I'm so glad you asked. I help women over the age of 40 specifically, yet not exclusively, get physically and fiscally fit. Why? Because I love myself so much today that it only makes sense to love my sisters exactly where they are. How am I keeping this thing all together? I.e., what is my self care modality? Running, reading, mindfulness meditation, transcendental meditation, exercising 6 to 7 days a week. And I know you're thinking, well, when do you rest? Trust and believe, I get in some naps. And prayer. I am in a perpetual state of convening, fellowshipping with God. Are y'all ready for the Feet King Show? This is a series. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this, which is create a month-long series. I decided to do this back in June, and I was like, oh my gosh, listen, it is already August, and I don't know about you, but I am feeling, I'm looking for my real fan, I am feeling the heat. And let me tell you something else. I am here for it. I do not want to hear another person complaining about the weather, the temperature. My producer just handed me my official hot flash fan. I don't want to hear it, y'all, because it's summer. And once we get into winter, you'll be complaining about the snow and the sludge and the ice and the rain. Like, let's embrace all of it. It is amazing. We went out this morning for a jog, and as soon as we hit the outside, I was like, ooh, okay, I get to change my mind. I get to shift my focus. Don't focus on the heat. Don't focus on the heaviness of the air. Just focus on breathing. And guess what? You get to pace yourself. And so that is what I did. I paced myself, and I was thinking to myself, you know what? I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna walk whenever I want. And we literally walked and decided, we negotiated. I negotiated with Sacred Rights. I said, how about we walk a block, jog a block? We walked one block and ended up jogging the rest of it. Why? Because motivation will let you down every time. I do not rely upon being motivated. I rely upon being disciplined. And you create the habit around being disciplined. Are y'all ready for the Feet King Show? The Feet King Show today, we are talking about being purposed in your pivot. Are you purposed in your pivot? So, pivot simply means you've decided to change directions. You've decided to go a different way. You've decided to release it, to let go of it, to stop, to make a U turn. You've decided you want something different. Everyone's something different is unique and special and specific to them. The question on the table is, are you purposed though? Are you purposed in your pivot? I did a segment a couple months ago on pivoting. And it was really inspired by Rev Melissa, because Rev Melissa on the I Am Rev Melissa show, SIP, Spirit in Practice, she was talking about pivoting. Or I think I was talking about pivoting. I forget how it went. But I realized that I had been in the midst of another pivot. And what I love about being over 40, who's that, Bridget? Hi, Bridget. What I love now about being over 40 is I care a lot less about others' opinions about my pivot, right? And so I want to read something with you, and then I want to share a story. Who wants to hear a story? Let me know if you want to hear a story, Bridget, because you know I have stories. All right, so pivoting in business is a term that describes the process of changing direction. Didn't I just say that? The process of changing direction when the current strategy is not delivering the desired results. So what are some reasons why either you've decided to pivot, or let's talk about some reasons that may be moving you in the direction of your pivot. It could be something simple as you changed, your passion has shifted. It could be something as simple as, because I didn't think about this as it pertains to large companies. There was a time, I want to say during COVID, that many of the big lots were closing. So sometimes we see these big companies, big brands, and they either go out of business or they downsize. Right now, Starbucks, which is not, it's not my coffee shop. It's Seiku's. I'm not going to put him on blast. Starbucks is going through a pivot. Starbucks has decided, instead of having a kind of a mom and pop coffee shop feel where people come in, they stay all day because we use Starbucks as our office. It's like Starbucks has turned into the new brick and mortar. Instead of that business model, Starbucks really wants you to grab and go, grab and go. They want you to come in, order, get your coffee, and get on up out of there. And the way that they've done that is simply, and it's so simple, it's such a simple strategic move. They said, you know what we're going to do? Instead of constantly monitoring our customers and finding, these unique ways to get them to buy more product, more food, drink, we're going to remove the tables and chairs. Brilliant. That is all they've done. So you really have no choice but to go in, grab and go. And I thought, okay, Starbucks is in a pivot. Good stuff. And so sometimes you don't think about big businesses are also needing leads. They're also needing customers, clients. Like, you're not in business if you don't have customers, clients, if you don't have leads. As an entrepreneur, as a solopreneur, I don't know about you, but I think I do. Let me just show you a few of the hats that I get to wear. And don't cry me a river, right? Because this is of my choosing. I choose this versus the illusion of, oh, wait a minute, what? The illusion of stability and certainty that a job, I have many more hats, the illusion of certainty and stability that a job will lead you to believe that it has. Now, listen, this might not be for you. This is a conversation that I'm having with myself, for myself, a conversation that I'm having for entrepreneurs, solopreneurs. If you got a side hustle, if you're out there juggling, if you are out there wearing all the hats, doing all of the things, whether you are a small business owner, whether you have a side business. I'm going to check in a moment. What's up, Fatima West? What's up, Tyrone Hicks? I'm going to check in with y'all because I feel like you two are my tribe. I feel like I'm speaking to you. So sometimes when it comes to either being in business, having a side business, having a desire to start a business, you find yourself straddling the fence between client, customer, friends, right? We straddle the fence between organic marketing versus paid marketing, which means advertising. And we straddle that fence because, unlike a large company, or even unlike some startups, you might not have the capital. Maybe you didn't get the grant. Maybe you haven't even applied for the grant. Maybe you don't qualify for a loan because you have a challenged credit score. Maybe you don't have the courage. Maybe you just haven't thought about it, because there's so many different ways to fund your business. And as a woman of color, it is the most difficult for us to go after funding. I believe because of someone by the name of Arlan Hamilton, that is in the midst of changing. And so I want to pivot into who Arlan Hamilton is after I check in with my girl Fatima West, because I know I am speaking to Fatima. Yes, bring Angelise in the room, because let me tell you something. I have been working. So the one thing out of many things that my mother blessed me with is a strong work ethic. I have been working, you hear me, since the age of 12. And so some of you have 12-year-old kids, 12-year-old grandkids, 12-year-old nieces, nephews, 12-year-old great-grandkids. And I want you to go home Or I want you to go on FaceTime and I want you to look at them and imagine your 12-year-old child going to a job. Like, I don't want that. My niece will be 10 years old in next month. She will be 10 years old. I cannot imagine that baby going to work. Now, here's the upside of that. It taught me responsibility. It taught me independence. I opened up my very first savings and checking account on my own. No, my mama didn't go down to Commercial Federal Savings and Loan on 30th and A to help me open that account. I did it by myself. Why? Because I had my own check. Why? Because I had my own job. What I didn't know is how money works. And it's not too late and you're not too old. It's not too late and you're not too old to learn. But what you need to do is open yourself up to it. And you need to also admit, you know what? There's a lot of things I don't know. And I'm willing and ready to learn them. All right, so let's check in with Tyrone. Thank you so much, Tyrone. I appreciate you. I appreciate what you do. Peace and blessings to you. Arlen Hamilton. I'm going to start with her first book. It's about damn time. It's about damn time. Arlen Hamilton. Hey, she is a VC. She's a venture capitalist. She went from homeless, sleeping on the floor of the San Francisco airport. I need you to hear me. She went from sleeping curled up with her jeans underneath her pillow. Now, I've had some challenging times in my life. I mean, challenging. I'm a very imaginative, creative person. However, I have a challenging time imagining this beautiful woman curled up on the floor of an airport with her jeans, sleeping, having no money, having her people occasionally, because they too were challenged, sending her money on Cash App and PayPal. And I know I'm speaking to somebody today. I know I'm speaking to somebody who can imagine that, who has been through that. This woman did not lose sight of her vision. This woman did not lose sight of her ability. She knew she had it within her. She just needed someone else to see something in her who were willing to invest in her vision. And that happened for her. And so what she is doing is sowing into our vision. She has declared that she is going to help 1,000 BIPOC LGBTQ women over the course of a decade become a millionaire. And I'm one of them. She already said yes. And I said, thank you, Arlen. I'm going to do my work. I'm going to show up and do my part. And part of me doing my work is knowing my value and knowing when I need to pivot. And I'm in my pivot season. I've had many pivot seasons. I feel like this is monumental. This pivot season is so epic because I realize, and we've said it, and it's a really cute, catchy phrase. You know, if you keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result, you are just insane. And I've been doing that, fam. I have been doing that. The only thing I haven't done is start TikTok dancing, right? And I'm a good dancer, at least in my mind. Bam, bam, what? However, I have been over negotiating. I have been doubling down on my prices. I have been doing the most to meet people where they are. And that is not fair to me. That is not fair to my gift. That is not fair to my talents. That is not fair to my offering, my knowledge. What? Like, I know who I am. And so I am not mad at anyone. If I was, it would be mad at me, right? But you get to pivot. You get to make a different decision. You get to go down a different road in your business, in your professional, in your personal, in your spiritual life. You get to say, you know what? This is not working for me. So what I get to do is do something different so that I can get a different result. Arlen Hamilton says, don't deny the world your voice. Yes, you have something to say. I was like, girl, you know me so well. That's why you're my mentor and I'm your mentee. You are intelligent. Thank you, girl. You are unique. You are interesting. You are intriguing. And I'm going to add, I'm also enigmatic. Someone said that to me one time. You may be a visionary. Is there something that you know, something that you believe, something that you have seen or done and others could benefit from? Now, I'm going to pause right there. Because Fatima West, I know that there's something that you have done, something that you have seen, something that you have survived. Sekou writes, I know because I've been there that there's something that you have done, something that you have seen, something that you have survived that others could benefit from. Rev Melissa, and I am speaking to so many. Cyree, I am speaking to so many. Bridget, there is something that you have done that others could benefit from. Are there people out there who are looking for your information? So what we get to do is we get to determine the value of our time, the value of our knowledge, the value of our information. Fatima West, again, I'm speaking to you. Fee King, I'm speaking to you. There could be, and there could be, and they'll never find you if you don't share what you know with the world. So we get conflicted. And I know for me, let me speak specifically to myself and for myself. Sometimes you want to play. Sometimes I want to play the good guy. I want to be nice. I want to be polite. I want to be kind and loving. And you can still be all of those things. I can still be, I am all of those things and still know my worth. You can still be those things and still know your worth. And I want to give you a really quick example of how you can do that. If you are someone who has a set of skills and you have this knowledge, and I'm going to use Fatima West as an example because I've been talking to Fatima about this for over a year and a half. I'm putting you on the spot, Fatima West. Fatima West is a traveling nurse. She's also been a hospice nurse. When I was in Atlanta recently, navigating hospice for my cousin, the first person I knew to call, the only person, let me say the only person I knew, because who knows anything about hospice, right? I knew nothing about hospice except that that's supposed to be the final stage. And what I learned from Fatima West is that's not always the case. You can graduate out of hospice. Fatima spent time on the phone with me, and I said to Fatima, Fatima, there are thousands, if not millions of people who need just a little hand holding when it comes to hospice. You could create a website and offer consultation for a fee. I said, because I just spent about 15, 20 minutes of your time on the phone. I said, and you ought to invoice me. I said, and I will pay you. It's not a problem, because where else am I going to get this information from? And so she says here, Arlen Hamilton says here, there could be, and there could be someone out there who needs what you know, who would benefit from what you know. There could be, and they'll never find you if you don't share what you know with the world. And if you don't value what you know and what you've been through, what you've achieved, then they won't value it. Meaning, if you don't attach a price to your time, when you go to that job, if you work a 9 to 5, if you work part-time, full-time, if you're working in your own business, you expect to be compensated, right? The more we negotiate our prices, it means that we don't value ourselves. And so I get to say publicly, Fee King, I'm sorry, I apologize. I apologize to me because I know better. I am currently in my purpose pivot season. At the top of 2017, Arlen Hamilton goes on to say, back when I had massive stage fright and couldn't speak in front of 15 or more people, I remember being at a private pitch day. During the Q&A for each company, my heart raced and pounded. If I even thought about asking a question, I resigned myself to being silent, just as I had always been in such circumstances. Who out there has allowed themselves to suppress their voice? I know I have. But then I noticed something. Company after company, investor after investor asked a question I had thought of. I also noticed something perhaps even more important. Many questions that I had not been asked by the other investors, 9 times out of 10, they were asked by men and by 0 people of color. because I was the only one of two investors of color in the room. In that moment, I felt that as scary as it was, if I didn't speak up, our voice, it's a collective. I love how she thinks, and not only how she thinks, but how she moves. Because oftentimes we'll talk about it, but we won't be about it. Arlen Hamilton bees about it. I felt that as scary as it was, if I didn't speak up, our voice would not be represented at all. So, with my heart pounding so loudly that I could hear my ears ringing, I raised my hand and I asked my question. And as scary as it might be for you to pivot and to say, I'm no longer going to do business the way that I've been doing, if you don't, you will not experience a different result. If you do not decide in your relationship that this is not working, and I'm not saying to leave it, I'm saying you get to say, you know what, maybe we need therapy. Maybe we need to consult a counselor. Maybe I need to do some internal individual work. But you get to make the decision, because if something in your life is not working and you continue to do the same thing over and over and over, you best bet you will continue to get the same result. That is just the law of polarity. That is the law. I don't know personally anything that I've ever done that was not working for me, and I continue to do it, that it's shifted. Like, it just doesn't, it's never worked that way for me. All right, so next book, because I'm on a roll, y'all. Sekou writes, I know you woke up over there. I know you were asleep. That's right. Fatima West says, I have coached and walked people through very intimately the hospice journey, supporting and giving them the best possible experience for those transitioning and those dealing with the pain of losing someone. Being someone who has had this hospice conversation twice, once when my mother was in the hospital, 2011, hospice was the next stage and she didn't make it to it. So my conversation was very short-sighted because she didn't make it to hospice. Recently, literally 2 months ago, I'm in Atlanta dealing with the hospice conversation with my cousin, who is only 2 years older than me. So that in and of itself was very uncomfortable and very emotional to have someone like Fatima, because when you're dealing with the hospital staff, they don't have time, or they haven't made time to have these conversations with you, because they're dealing with other patients, they're dealing with admin stuff. And so to have like a third party take their time, someone who's very kind and loving and patient, is valuable. So Fatima West, I have been saying this to you. I have been saying I will help you with it. And I believe that you're in your pivot season also. And so what I would also say for anyone else who is feeling like, you know what I'm doing is not giving me the results that I want. I'm not getting the kind of clients that I want. I'm not able to be an impact in the way that I know I can be an impact. Well, guess what? The clients, the customers that you want and that you need are out there. And if you continue to attract those who don't value what you do and they're not willing to pay you your worth, guess what? You get to find the clients who are out there who will. Okay, so we're going to move on. We're going to move on to the next one. So one of the things that I also want to share with you is the value in investing in yourself, whether that's reading, going to conventions, conferences, workshops, whether that's watching them on YouTube. One of the things that Sekou and I are committed to is investing in ourselves. So that's reading books, that's watching the YouTube videos, that's paying for courses, that's taking free courses. We spend on average every day anywhere from 2 to 6 hours, either individually or together. 2 to 6 hours. So ask yourself, how much time am I really investing in growing myself? The only way you can grow yourself spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and in your business is if you grow yourself. The next book is You Are a Badass at making money? Type it in the comments section if you are ready to declare that you are a badass at making money. This one is by Jen Sincero. This is one of the numerous books that we are studying, because we don't just read around here, y'all. We are studying. She says, if you've made a backup plan, you have not made a decision. If you have a plan B, C, D, and I would really, this one I think is really applicable for young people, graduating high school, graduating college. And I remember being a young person and constantly hearing older people talk about, yeah, you better have a plan B. And I never resonated with that. I was like, what does that mean? Why? Why would I have a plan B when I'm really clear about what I want to do? Maybe I'm not even clear about what I want to do, but I have some idea. And I just think a plan B is setting you up to not put 100% in your plan A. I love that she said it. If you've made a backup plan, you haven't made a decision. The Latin root of the word decide literally means to cut off, meaning cut off all other options, fall away, and you are committed to the decision alone. People have such meltdowns and resistance around making decisions because they panic and fear that by deciding on one thing, they will miss out on all the other cool things they want to do. Meanwhile, you can't do anything if you try to do everything. Sekou Rice has been telling me this for years. Fee King, I know you're like me, because I am a lot like him, and you like a lot of things, and you do a lot of things well. However, Jamie Foxx, this is what he said. Jamie Foxx did not pursue acting, music, comedy all at the same time. He pursued being a comedic actor. And then we found out he's actually a comedian. And maybe I have the two orders incorrect, but we do know that we didn't know until well into his career that Jamie Foxx is also a singer. So we can be all, he was a comedian first, and then an actor, and then a singer. So we can have all of the things, but not at the same time. You get to hone in on that one thing that's going to allow those other things to branch off from that one singular thing that you're focused on. For Sekou Rice, that's inspirational speaking. For me, that has been, now notice my phrasing, that has been fitness, using fitness as the vehicle. And now I am pivoting into inspirational speaking. And I can speak about helping women over the age of 40 get physically and fiscally fit. That's right. He's in the background saying that's right. All right. Our last publication book. Ooh, my favorite. Bob Proctor. My favorite. Bob Proctor. I absolutely rest in peace, Mr. Bob Proctor. Thank you so much for your legacy. Fatima West, that's my girl. Oh, Dr. Goddess, Mona, sex goddess, sex therapist. She says, I am a badass at making money. Yes, say it with me. We're going to say it when we end the show. We are badasses at not only making money, but growing money and keeping money in circulation. Bob Proctor says money has no value if it is not kept in circulation. Here's an example. We like to keep some cash in the house, right? This money has absolutely no value until I take it out and I do something with it. I pay you with it, or I buy something, groceries, food, that is groceries, food, clothes, cat food, or if I spend it, have cash left over in the form of change, and then I take that and I invest it in my Acorns, or I run down to Charles Schwab and invest that into my Roth IRA. Because guess what? You get to start where you are. You get to start where you are. You get to, a lot of times we think, oh man, I got to get a better job. I need to make more money. No, you need to do better with the amount of money that you make. You actually get to start where you are. All right. Bob Proctor says when times get tough, that's typically when we realize we need to pivot. When things get tough, you must get tougher, and you can. As Dr. Robert Schuller said, tough times never last, but tough people do. So if you find your faith slipping, or you find yourself running low on this great motor power, which accomplishes so many wonderful things, you can do something about it. You can do something about it. The following exercise works for me, and it has for years, and I know it will work for you too. You can build huge reservoirs of mental power by simply employing a daily auto-suggestive technique for the acquisition and the strengthening of this greatest and most necessary of all human attributes, which is our faith. So I'm going to give this to y'all. Catch it on the replay, rewind, listen to it again. Here is the auto-suggestive exercise that we're committed to doing. Y'all ready for this? Give me something in the comments. Give me something in the comments. Are we ready for this, Fee King? We ready for this? Say your name. I'll start with me. I, Fee King, am a child of God, and the being God made was never intended for the sort of weak, negative life I have been leading. God made me for success, not failure. I am perverting the great object of my existence by giving away to these miserable doubts of myself or my ability to be what you desire with all my heart to be. I should be ashamed to go out amongst my associates with a long, sad, dejected face, as though I were a misfit, as though I lacked creative power within, as though I did not have the ability to do what my Creator sent me here to do. I am made to express what I long to express. Why not do this? Why not stand and walk like a conqueror, like a David who slew Goliath, instead of giving away to discouragement and doubt and carrying on like a failure? What? The image of perfection, the image of my Creator lies within me. I must bring it to the center of my conscious thought and express it to the world. Don't disgrace my Maker by violating that image, by being everything but the magnificent God intended me to be. I will post this on social media so that you too can adapt and adopt to this credence. And I want us to end the Fee King Show with remembering and reminding ourselves that I am a badass at making money. Let's say that 3 times. And I want you to say it whether you're in your car, whether you're in the house, whether you're at work, because they're going to appreciate this. Like, woo, she is a badass at making money for us. And then you secretly say to yourself, no, sir, I'm a badass at making money for me. Y'all ready? I'm a badass at making money. 2 more times. I am a badass at making money. 3 times. It's a charm. I am a badass at making money. Yes. Woo! I felt that. All right, y'all. This is the Fee King Show. I'm 3 minutes over. Thank you. If you found any value in the Fee King Show today, go ahead and share that thing. The Fee King Show goes down every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, God willing, from 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 12 noon. This month, I am doing a series titled Pivoted in Your Purpose. I have only 3 slots left for interviews. I want to interview women and men who have made that conscious decision to pivot in your life, whether it's your personal, your spiritual, your professional, or all 3. Let's have this conversation. I bid you love, light, peace, prosperity, possibility, positivity, not just for today, not even just for this weekend or the rest of this year, but for your entire life condition. I'm out.